On a really quiet night, especially if you're like out past the city lights here in Sioux Falls, you might just catch that sound.
Hmm.
It's kind of ancient, a little wild, and definitely a part of the spirit of the plains that settles over our home.
Yeah, that howl.
Exactly. And that's what we're diving into today. The South Dakota state animal, the incredible coyote. We've pulled together some really fascinating research and even some of our own experiences, seeing these guys around Sioux Falls.
Right. And our mission here really isn't just to tell you what the coyote is. We wanted to dig into why it holds such a special place, in our state's identity from history, like
Yeah.
way back right up to today. And maybe what lessons they can teach us about adaptability, resilience, stuff like that.
Totally. Okay, so let's jump right in. The coyote officially became South Dakota's state animal on March 5, 1949. That feels specific. Why the coyote out of all the animals here?
That's a great question. And yeah, the legislature back in 49, they picked it very deliberately. It was meant to represent adaptability, the spirit of survival.
Oh,
If you think about it, that really mirrors South Dakota's own pioneer mentality, that grit and determination to just make it work no matter what.
right, that resilience you mentioned.
Exactly. It was a symbol they felt reflected the state's identity.
And I heard something interesting about the whole process. Wasn't there like another animal in the running?
Oh, yeah. This is a fun historical tidbit. Our research showed that one legislator actually seriously proposed the bull.
The bull. Wow.
Yeah. But in the end, the coyote's sheer resilience, its cunning, that's
Yeah.
what won out. It says a lot about what qualities the state wanted to highlight back then.
It really does. And that adaptability, it's not just symbolic. You see it plain as day in their natural behavior.
Oh, absolutely. What's really fascinating is just how far they range. We're talking nearly the entire North American continent.
Seriously. The whole continent.
Pretty much. From, like, Alaska, way up north, all the way down to Central America.
Yeah.
That's an incredible spread for one species.
Wow. Okay, so bringing it closer to home then, here in South Dakota, where are they most common?
Well, they're particularly abundant out in the Black Hills and along the Missouri River corridor.
Yeah.
But honestly, they're kind of everywhere, even around here.
Yeah, you hear them sometimes. So what makes them so successful, so adaptable?
It really comes down to being, well, cunning, adaptable, and just incredibly versatile. They can shift their diet completely depending on what's available.
So whatever's on the menu, basically.
Right. They adjust their breeding habits, even their social structures, how they live together to fit the environment. And that's why they can even thrive right alongside us near towns and cities. Lots of wildlife can't do that.
Which is kind of amazing when you think about it. How often do we resist change when maybe, adapting like the coyote could help us thrive too? And they're physically pretty capable too, right? Not just smart.
Oh, definitely. They're athletes.
Yeah.
They can sprint up to 40 miles per hour.
40.
Yeah. And they have incredible hearing and sense of smell. Plus, they can hunt alone, or they can team up and work together in packs. Super flexible.
Makes sense.
And here's a fun fact. Their Latin species name, Canis latrans. Latrans actually means barking.
Okay, fits the howl.
It does. And that howl, when you hear a lone coyote, it's not just random noise. It can be like a neighborhood watch signal,
Yeah.
establishing territory, communicating with others nearby.
Interesting.
And get this, in winter, they become really effective pack hunters. Sometimes they even go after deer together.
Whoa, okay. Didn't know that.
Yeah, and one more thing, they often form long-term pairs, like monogamous pairings. And both parents chip in to raise the pups. It's a real family effort.
That's actually really sweet. It kind of reminds you how working together, helps everyone succeed, like in a community. Okay, so clearly they're amazing survivors, but their story goes way back culturally too, right? Even before settlers.
Oh, absolutely. The coyote has deep roots, especially in Native American folklore. If you look at Lakota traditions, for instance, the coyote often shows up as this clever trickster figure.
A trickster, like mischievous.
Sometimes, yeah, but not always in a bad way. Often the stories use the coyote's antics, sometimes their mistakes even, to teach lessons about, like, generosity or humility, showing folks what not to do.
Ah, okay. Learning from the trickster.
Exactly. And then, fast forward a bit, Lewis and Clark encountered them on their journey. They actually called them prairie wolves.
Prairie wolves, right.
Yep, and William Clark, he actually hunted one near the White River back in 1804. So that's one of the first documented interactions by those explorers.
So they went from folklore figure to, well, documented wildlife pretty quickly. But their story in South Dakota gets even more unique, doesn't it? I mean, this next part is just fantastic. Have you heard about Tootsie?
Tootsie the singing coyote, yes. It's such a classic South Dakota story. It really shows how one animal can just capture everyone's heart.
Tell us about her.
Okay, so back in 1947, there was a hunter, Ollie Wiswell, out on Custer Peak. He found and rescued this little coyote pup.
Ah.
Yeah. And this pup, they named her Tootsie. She grew up with her owner, Fred Borsch, and somehow she learned to sing along with him, like actually make musical sounds.
No way. A singing coyote, for real?
For real, she even recorded a song. It was called South Dakota Tootsie. You could buy the record.
That is wild. So how did the singing coyote connect to it becoming the state animal? Was that like a coincidence?
Not at all. There was a direct link. Tootsie became super famous. She was in parades, went to events all over the state.
Oh.
She even toured all the way to the White House. Her popularity, her charm, it directly influenced Governor Mickelson and the legislature.
Yeah.
Her fame really helped push the coyote over the line to become the official state animal in 1949.
That's incredible. The power of a singing coyote. Okay, so we have the celebrated figure, the symbol of resilience, this singing star. But let's be real, there's another side to the coyote story, especially when it comes to, communities and livestock.
Right, that's the other side of the coin. While they're celebrated culturally, and you have stories like Tootsie, coyotes have definitely been seen as pests, too.
Yeah.
Especially by ranchers, farmers.
Yeah. I know there were bounties for a long time, right? Like in the mid-1900s. Did that even work?
Well, it's complicated. Mostly, the bounties proved pretty ineffective in the long run. And here's the fascinating ecological twist. Coyotes are so adaptable, they can actually respond to population control efforts by having larger litters.
Wait, really? So trying to reduce their numbers makes them breed more?
In many cases, yes. It's
Yeah.
a sort of compensatory rebound effect. So, yeah, trying to manage them just through bounties didn't really solve the underlying issues.
Wow. Talk about unintended consequences. So how does South Dakota handle it now? What's the approach to managing coyotes today?
The modern approach tries to find more of a balance. Wildlife management in the state includes regulated hunting seasons. For instance, in Custer State Park, there's a specific season, like November 1st to April 30th.
Okay.
The idea is to recognize their ecological role. They're important predators, they help keep rodent populations in check, stuff like that, while also trying to mitigate the real issue of livestock losses for producers. It's about finding ways to coexist.
That makes sense. A balancing act. So thinking about their presence today, it's not just a history lesson or something out on the prairie, right? What stands out to you now?
Well, it's interesting how that symbolism continues.
Yeah.
Just think about the University of South Dakota. Their teams are the coyotes.
Right? Go Yotes.
Exactly. They got the mascot, Charlie Coyote. There's even a statue on campus. It's this living connection back to the state animal. It keeps that symbolism front and center.
Yeah, definitely. And it really does hit home for us here in South Dakota, doesn't it?
Okay,
Coyotes are still very much around, both in rural areas and, like we said, even creeping into urban spaces. You can hear them sometimes right here near Sioux Falls if you're listening on a quiet night. It's kind of a cool reminder of the wildness that's still here, even close to town.
Absolutely. You're near Vermillion, too. And their presence is strong enough that they pop up in literature, like that outdoor memoir, Waiting for Coyote's Call. They're woven into the fabric of the place.
Yeah.
So when you wrap it all up, the coyote really is this incredible model of survival. It's smart, it's adaptable, and it's just deeply, deeply tied into South Dakota's identity.
Totally.
From those ancient Lakota stories, to a singing pup becoming famous, to the ongoing debates about conservation today. This animal constantly reminds us about that balance between, wildness and civilization, a balance we're always navigating, even right here.
That's a perfect way to summarize it. In celebrating the coyote, we're really celebrating resilience, we're celebrating ingenuity, and that kind of enduring spirit of the plains that you can still feel right here in Sioux Falls. So maybe something for you to think about. What is the coyote's amazing ability to adapt, to thrive when things change? What does that teach us about our own growth, our own ability to change, maybe even in our homes, our neighborhoods, right here in this wonderful town?
Good question to ponder.
Well, thank you so much for joining us on this deep dive. It's always fun sharing this stuff, learning together, and just building our community here in beautiful Sioux Falls. Remember, you can always check us out on social media at yourseasonedagent.com. Thanks for listening.